Welcome back to the Accessible Art History YouTube channel. This week, interest in the story of Caracalla and Geta has been reignited with the upcoming release of Gladiator 2, directed by Ridley Scott. The film, a sequel to the iconic Gladiator, delves into a different era of Roman history, exploring new characters and historical events. I was inspired to talk about the tumultuous relationship between these brothers and how we see it play out in art because of this trailer. So to learn more, keep on watching. Caracalla and Geta were brothers and were born into the Severan dynasty, sons of Emperor Septimius Severus and the influential and powerful Julia Domna. Caracalla, born in 188 CE, and Geta, born in 189 CE, were groomed from an early age for leadership. Their parents understood the importance of a strong dynasty after Septimius Severus took power after the Year of Five Emperors in 193 CE. As emperor, Septimius Severus was shrewd and strategic, but his decision to make both of his sons co-emperors later in his reign planted the seeds of discord. He believed that by sharing power, his sons would continue his legacy together. However, this plan sure did backfire. Even though they were only a year apart in age, the two royal brothers could not have been more different. Caracalla, the elder of the two, was known for his fierce and aggressive nature. He was ambitious, ruthless, and had a militaristic outlook. He was often eager to prove his strength and dominance. In stark contrast, Geta was more reserved, intellectual, and inclined towards the administrative side of ruling the country. Their differing personalities and approaches to leadership further fueled their animosity. They simply couldn't see eye to eye on how to rule an empire. Additionally, the imperial court was filled with advisors and officials who took sides in their rivalry. Caracalla and Geta each had their factions, each vying for influence and control. This created a highly charged and divisive atmosphere where each brother viewed the other as a threat. Another factor contributing to their hatred was the strategic importance of the Roman Empire's territories. Caracalla and Geta each wanted to control the most crucial and prosperous regions. The prospect of dividing the empire, though briefly considered, was seen by both sides as a sign of weakness and perhaps the downfall of the legacy of their family. Just a century earlier, the Roman Empire had been at the height of its power. Now it was on the verge of collapse because neither was willing to concede any part of their inheritance. On his deathbed, Septimius Severus is said to have advised his sons to be harmonious, enrich the soldiers, and scorn all others. Yet his words were just that. Words. With their father gone, the fragile peace he had maintained collapsed and the brothers were at odds. Caracalla's ambition and desire for sole power drove him to do the unthinkable. In 211 CE, shortly after their father's death, he lured Geta into a meeting under the guise of reconciliation. Once there, Caracalla's soldiers ambushed and murdered Geta in their mother's arms, ending the bitter rivalry in a most brutal fashion. But Caracalla didn't stop there. To ensure that no one would rally in his brother's name, he sought to obliterate any trace of his existence. He instituted what's called a Damnatio Mamore, a literal damnation of Geta's memory, and ordered that all references to him be destroyed. Statues, busts, and images of Geta were systematically defaced or destroyed. His name was chiseled out from inscriptions and official records. The purpose of Damnatio Mamore was to ensure that the condemned person's legacy would be forgotten, effectively and quite literally erasing him from the historical record. Even in official documents and legal text, Geta's name was erased. It was a deliberate and methodical attempt to remove him, and it was unprecedented at this time. It was not just an act of personal vengeance by Caracalla, but a political maneuver to consolidate his power and eliminate any remaining loyalty to his brother Geta. One of the most famous surviving examples of this Damnatio Mamore against Geta is the Severan Tondo. Dating to around 200 CE, it shows the first two generations of the dynasty. However, one of the faces is completely scratched out. To add insult to injury, art historians have discovered that the blank space that used to be occupied by Geta's face was smeared with excrement. This shows that the act was not only a political move, but also a deeply personal one, reflecting the intense hatred and rivalry between the brothers. It's remarkable how Caracalla literally erased his brother from history. But don't worry, Caracalla got his comeuppance. In 217, while on campaign, he stopped to urinate on the side of the road. At this moment, he was attacked and stabbed to death by one of his soldiers. He was angry because Caracalla refused to grant him the position of centurion, and a rival to the throne saw this as an opportunity to take the emperor out and claim power for himself. What goes around comes around, I guess. The tragic story of Caracalla and Geta and the use of Damnatio Mamore serves as a poignant example of the darker aspects of Roman imperial history. It also serves as a powerful reminder of how history can be manipulated and the lengths to which an individual will go to maintain their own legacy. I'm curious to see how Gladiator 2 and Ridley Scott handled this story.